Hello and welcome back to the another episode of Daily News Quiz Analysis for IAS Prelims 2025. It is 6th January today, and in this video we are going to solve different types of questions which are very much relevant for your preparation. Before we will start solving these questions, I would like to give the brief introduction about the initiative so that if you are new to our channel, you will get more connected with it. And if you are our regular visitor, then I would recommend you guys to straightforward few minutes so that you will directly jump to the discussion part. Now coming back to the introduction part, in this video, we try to discuss basically three types of questions, which are from three different sources. In the first part of our discussion, we take up questions directly from the current affairs. You know what we do? We take up the most important articles from the newspapers, we break them down into the simplest language possible, and we derive the possible prelims based questions from those particular articles. So that it will give you the idea how the examiner can ask you a question from these articles. It will give you the idea which part of the newspaper is important for your preparation, and it will give you the idea what should be your approach towards your current affairs. So this is what we are going to discuss in the first part of our discussion. After solving questions with respect to current affairs, we shift our approach to the another part of our discussion where we take up some static topic questions. We had started discussing the static topics also here, and we had started with Indian polity. Right now we are discussing the fundamental duties, and we are discussing fundamental duties clause by clause. As you know, the fundamental duties are in part 4a of the Indian Constitution. The fundamental duties are contained in article 51a of the Indian Constitution. Right now we are discussing, today we will discuss clause G of the fundamental duties. We'll try to find out what is given in there, how the UPSC examiner can ask you a question from that particular clause, and how you should prepare for that. This is what we are going to do in the second part of our discussion. After solving questions with respect to current affairs and the static part, we shift our part of our discussion where we discuss questions directly from where we take a few previous year questions. What we do, every day we take a few previous year questions here. We try to discuss them. We try to break the language used by the UPSC. We try to find out the ways and methods by which we can still solve the question if we don't have the proper knowledge. What can be the methods to solve those questions? And we try to find out how we can implement this knowledge which we get from these questions in the upcoming exam, as UPSC has this habit of repeating the questions. So this is all what we are going to do in this video. This is what we are going to do. Now before we start solving these questions, I would like to request you one thing which I believe if you will follow, it will help you in different ways in clearing your exam. Here, if I was at your place, you know what I will do? If I'm right now watching this video, what I will do, I would just start recording these questions. I will start noting down these questions somewhere. I will develop my own question bank. Once I have my own question bank, when the exams are near, I'm talking about the month of May. At that time, I would want to go through the current affairs. I would want to go through the static part. I would want to go through the previous year questions, but time does not permit us to do so. So what will I do? At that time, if I have these questions with me, which I had noted down from last 1 year, what I will do, I would just revise these questions. These questions would definitely connect me with the current affairs. It will connect me with the static part. It will connect me with the previous year question analysis, and it will boost my confidence before entering the exam hall. And also, who knows, as it is the same source which the UPSC is going to use, maybe many questions can coincide since we are doing it from last 1 year, or maybe last 6 months, sorry, or many statements would coincide. If not the questions and the statements, definitely the concepts would be the same. They are going to ask you questions from these concepts only. So being on the safer side, it is recommended for you to please note down these questions and revise them before your exams are there. So with this, I would like to request you one last thing, and that is, please do subscribe the channel, share it with your friends so that they may also get benefited from this initiative, and do write in the comments what do you want from us, what else should we bring for you guys. So with this, let's start with our first question here, and let's try to solve it. As the question is about the preventive healthcare. Question is about the preventive healthcare, as we can see it here on the screen. with reference to preventive healthcare in India, which of the following statements is are correct? You know, here I would want to add one thing more for you guys. This initiative is not all about the question answering, it is not all about the quiz. Here we give you the news analysis also, and that's why we had named our initiative as Daily News Quiz Analysis. So let's now discuss it. Here, as question is about the preventive healthcare, and you can ask me a question here, sir, why we had brought this question. The answer to this question lies in today's newspaper, as news article talked about India needs to prioritize preventive healthcare. So here the author, what does he want India to do? He wants India to prioritize preventive healthcare. You know, if we will look into our country, you will see one strange thing here, which is very much different in the West. We are very much focused on the curative healthcare. We are very much focused on the curative healthcare, and our habit is so. We have developed like that. Once we will feel some ailment, once we will feel some disease is in our body, some uncomfortableness in our body, then only we will go to the doctors. We don't have that regular checkup habit here. So we are much focused on curative healthcare. Once we will suffer from some disease, then only we will go to the doctors, and there are lots of impacts of that. Because of this curative healthcare system which is prevailing in our society, which is prevailing in our country, we have to spend a lot of money on that because we are already infected by the disease. So now the focus is on removing the disease. So there is a lot of out of pocket expenditure on that, and also the lifespan of the person. For example, if a person was going to live for 70 years, his lifetime gets affected by that. Lifetime gets very much affected by that, and and that person leads to premature deaths because he once he detects this disease. For example, there is a person, he is suffering from cancer, and we know about the cancer early phases are not that much visible in the body, and person feels very much comfortable, and our habit is like that. Once we are comfortable, we would not go to doctors, we won't even check up our body, and once we feel some uncomfortableness in our body, then only we go for checkups. And once that person feels the uncomfortable, he is suffering from, for example, he was suffering from cancer, his cancer stage has already reached to fourth stage. So because of this delays in checkup, because of this habit of curative healthcare system in our country, the lifespan of that person decreases to the highest level. We can say there is a premature death of that person, and the life and for example, once he is diagnosed with the fourth stage cancer, and only few months are left for him to live, or only few years are left for him, and that life period, the quality of that life period gets very much worsened. So these are some disadvantages related to the curative healthcare system. Even though the curative healthcare system is most important, but still, if we would develop our habit in such a way, we would have this habit of of regular checkups, of vaccination, all that stuff which comes under the preventive healthcare system, then we would have reduced these disease burdens to the highest level, and also we would have reduced this the out of pocket expenditure which we have to spend on the curative healthcare to the highest levels. With respect to this, there was a report, there is a WHO studies that says, WHO study, it says that if you spend 1 rupee on the 1 rupee on the curative healthcare, you would save 3 rupees. You would definitely save 3 rupees for yourself. So if once we are habitual of that spending on the preventive healthcare, now here we need to understand what this preventive healthcare is. That we would understand by this question. If I will give you the vogue definition of it, if I will give you the layman's definition of it, you have to you have to change your lifestyle. You have to, for example, if you are, what are the causes of the disease, especially non-communicable diseases, what are the causes of the disease? If you would spend on that, you would reduce those causes. For example, you are habitual of smoking, this can lead to the cancer, this can lead to the deadly disease. And here can come the preventive healthcare system. It will you have to spend less on the smoking. You would quit smoking. You would For example, there is an issue of obesity and cardiac arrests because of the food which we are taking right now. If we will understand that right now, we'll go to the nutritionist and ask him what should be the proper food for any person. And if we will follow the balanced diet, it will come under the preventive healthcare system. It means that you have to prevent from getting ill, prevent yourself from getting ill, change your lifestyle, change your life habits, then only you can prevent yourself from getting ill. And curative is once you are already infected by some disease, then you are spending money, then you are spending your time on curing that disease. So this is the basic definition between the preventive health system and preventive health care and the curative health care. So with this, how the author of this article, he says how we can prioritize preventive health care, what we can do. In this, he had highlighted a few things which we should do. First of all, he highlighted that there should be proper diagnostics and regular screening, that we should have develop this habit that proper diagnostics should be there, and regular screening. As I had heard many athletes say that, one of the greatest athletes say that we never get headache. And once they said, I had heard them saying that if I will feel headache, then definitely it is something wrong with my there is something wrong with my body. You can see why I'm giving you this example, because we in our country everybody feels headache, and it is mostly because of the dehydration in our country or anxiety. But there can be many reasons for that, and we don't go for example, we have this headache, we will go to the pharmacy and take the any tablet which is recommended for that by our own. So we won't go for the checkups. So here the author says that we should develop this regular diagnostics and regular checkups. This should be the habit of the people. There should be regular screening. Second, he says that the incentives should be given for the regular checkups. We know that we are living in the country where testing is very much expensive right now. So the author says in this news article that the government should give incentives for these regular checkups. And also we should invest on our primary healthcare center, because they are the first point of contact. There should be more investment on primary healthcare centers. And also, there should be the discourage of the sin goods which are harmful for us. Much GST should be put on those sin goods, for example cigarettes and alcohol. There should be more GST should be on the cigarettes and other dietary products which are very much harmful for our health. So much GST should be on those products. So these are a few things which the author recommends, the government which the author recommends, that these things, once these things would be brought in, it would definitely improve our preventive health care system. And what are these things? Proper diagnostics and regular screening, incentives for the regular checkups. We should strengthen primary healthcare sector and increase GST for harmful products. These are few things which we should go for. So with this, I believe you had got the basic context of this question, why we had discussed this. Now let's start to solve this question. Here the question says, with reference to preventive healthcare in India, which of the following statements are correct? The first statement, it focuses primarily on curative measures after the onset of the disease. 100% incorrect, because it focuses on preventive measures before the onset of the disease. For example, going for regular checkups, solving the dietary problems, and all those issues which we already discussed. Here it is basically, this statement is related to the curative healthcare system, not primitive healthcare system. So statement 1 is totally incorrect. Coming to the statement 2, it says it aims to reduce the burden of non-communicable diseases through early detection and lifestyle interventions. 100% correct. Nothing wrong with the statement. That's what we discussed. Third, it plays a significant role in reducing out-of-pocket expenditure on healthcare for individuals and families. 100% correct. Once you detect any disease in the earlier phases, then the money which you would spend on that would be very much less as compared to the money you will spend on the same disease when it has reached its last stages. So with respect to this question, the statements which are correct are second statement and the third statement. And from the code given below, the correct code would be option B. With this, I hope you had understood the question and you had understood the concept of preventive healthcare and what India should do with respect to the preventive healthcare. Now, with this, let's move to the another question and try to solve it. Here, the question is with respect to the let us see what does the question say. With reference to the recent changes in the status of protected areas in India, consider the following statements. It is basically about the denotification of some national park. Why we had brought this question, and the main reason for that is the article which was in newspaper today, which talked about the empower the guardians of the earth, do not rob them. It was the title of the article. It basically talked about the Great Nicobar Island, Great Nicobar project, in which lots of investments are going on with respect to that project, and lots of infrastructure is going to be developed there. So this development of this infrastructure, as we had already discussed this topic in very much detail in our earlier classes also, that it would definitely lead to the its impact would be felt by the ecosystem there. Impact would be felt by the ecosystem as well as the tribals who are living in that particular region. So with respect to this, there was a national park named the Galathea Bay National Park, which was denotified as a national park. That Galathea Bay was denotified, and with respect to this, which was denotified because of this project, so that they could implement this project, they could implement what they want to create there, what the infrastructure they wanted to create there. So with respect to that, they denotified the Galathea Bay National Park. So with respect to this, we need to understand how is this denotification done, which is the authority responsible for this denotification. Here, let's try to solve this question and we will get idea about it. First statement, denotification implies the complete removal of legal protection status from a previously designated area. You know, Even though the notification is not done like that, but wherever it is done, there is the removal of the legal protection status for that particular region, but it is not complete removal. There are some areas are left where the protection is still there. So this statement is incorrect. It is half correct, half incorrect. We can mark it incorrect here. Then the second statement, it says diversion involves the alteration of land use within a protected area for non-conservation purposes. 100% correct. It is the diversion involves the alteration of land use within a protected area for non-conservation purposes. 100% correct. Then the third statement, the National Board of Wildlife is the primary authority responsible for approving both denotification and diversion proposals. 100% correct. Which is this board? It is the National Board of Wildlife is the primary authority responsible for approving both denotification and diversion proposals. As here, this Galathea Bay was denotified as a national park. So to overcompensate, as once it was denotified, there was huge criticism regarding this move from the government, what they had done. So with respect to that, the government has decided to bring in 3 new wildlife sanctuaries. And unfortunately, once they will bring these 3 new wildlife sanctuaries, it will definitely impact the movement of the tribals in that particular area. And the tribal group which would be most impacted there is Shompean tribes, as they are particularly vulnerable tribal groups there. So they will get more impacted there. So with respect to this, there is a concept called conservation colonialism. This is what the author here highlights. He highlights the concept of conservation colonialism, that the for the things which the government wants to bring in, it is colonializing these particular areas, it is colonializing these it is colonializing these tribal people in that particular area for the purpose of the development. And it is the same thing which the earlier colonialist governments try to do in our country. So it is the concept here is basically about the conservative colonialism. And what are the new the new wildlife sanctuaries which the government has proposed, which will impact the movement of the Shambian tribes. These are the names of those particular wildlife sanctuaries are a coral sanctuary at Miro Island. It is the first wildlife sanctuary which they would bring in. Then the second is a megapod sanctuary at Menchel Islands. Then the third, a leatherback turtle sanctuary on Little Nicobar Island. These would be the three small wildlife sanctuaries which would be brought in, which would be notified in this particular region. Why they are getting notified? Because to overcompensate the denotification of the Galathea Bay Wildlife Sanctuary. Because of the denotification of the Galathea Bay National Park, one, as they did notified it for the purpose of the construction, for the purpose of the Great Nicobar project. Now as they felt the criticism from the people, because of that criticism, now they had decided to bring in three new wildlife sanctuaries. They had notified three new, they are going to notify three new wildlife sanctuaries. And what are these? As I would like to repeat it again, the first one is a coral sanctuary at Miro Island. The second is a megapod sanctuary at Menchel Islands, and the third is a leatherback turtle sanctuary on Little Nicobar Island. These would be the three, these would be the three sanctuaries, which would be wildlife sanctuaries, which would be notified in this particular region. And coming back to the question, as we solved it, the correct options for this is option 2 and 3, and from the code given below, the correct code would be option B. With this, let's move to the another question from the same topic for your revision purpose. Here the question says the Shampian tribe is primarily found in which of the following regions of India? 100% Andaman and Nicobar Islands, and it is a particularly vulnerable tribal group, and maximum number of people in this tribe are 300 people. So I believe that you should know about this also. Now with this, let's move to the another question and try to solve this. Here the question says it is about the Bostropheden is a style of writing in which it talks about, the purpose of this question is to make you understand what is this Bostropheden type or style of writing, what is it is about. Why we had brought this question? Because this child, he offers 1 million prize for decoding Indus Valley script. It is the same script which was used in the Indus Valley civilization. Indus Valley civilization, it is the script which was used there. With respect to this script, with respect to the Indus Valley civilization script, it has not been decoded yet. No one had decoded it fully. So with respect to this, the style, he has offered 1 million prize for decoding Indus Valley script. With respect to this Bostropheden, which was used in Indus Valley civilization, we need to know what this script is about, whether it starts from left or it starts from right. This is very unique script. It is like a snake movement. It starts from left to right, then in the another line from right to left, then in another line it starts from left to right. So it moves in a zigzag manner, or we can say snake manner, or we can say something in Hindi we call this Surfa Lekha manner. So with this question, let's try to solve it and see what could be the possible correct answer for this. First statement, the text is written in a spiral pattern moving inwards towards the center. Totally incorrect. It is basically, the first statement says it is like this. No, it is incorrect. Second statement, alternate lines of writing are reversed, with one line reading left to right and the next right to left. 100% correct. Alternate lines of writing are reversed, as I showed it here. It is like a snake. It moves like a snake in this manner. So this statement 2 is correct. Third statement, words are written vertically with each letter stacked on top of the letter. Totally incorrect. Fourth statement, the text is written in a circular path. Totally incorrect. So this Bostropheden is a style of writing in which alternate lines of writing are reversed, with one line reading left to right and the next right to left. So with respect to this question, the correct statement would be option B. With this, let's move to the another question and try to follow that. Here the question is about the Nagarhole National Park. Why we had brought question with respect to this? Because the elephant was stuck in the railway barrier and that elephant has been rescued. So it becomes important for us to know about the Nagarhole National Park. It is also called Rajiv Gandhi National Park. Let's try to understand. It is located in Karnataka. Let's try to understand more about this Nagarhole National Park through this question. First statement, it is a part of the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve, 100% correct, nothing wrong with this statement. Second, the Kabini River flows through the park, providing crucial water resources, 100%. This is the Kabini River. It divides Bandipora National Park from Nagarhole National Park. So, second statement is correct. Third statement, it is known for its significant population of black bucks, totally incorrect. So with respect to this question, the correct statements are statement 1 and statement 2 only. And from the code given below, the correct code would be option A. With this, let's move to the another question from the current affairs. Here the question is about the Toda tribe. And the question says the Toda tribe is primarily found in which of the following states of India? It is found in Karnataka, in Tamil Nadu and Nilgiris. There was a picture of their festival on the newspaper, so this tribe becomes important for you guys. It is also a PVGT group. So with this, let's move to the last question from today's current affairs. As question is about osteoporosis. It is a condition characterized by what? Why we had brought this question? Because there was article about the calcium intake, exercise crucial for young adults. How young adults, how the people are suffering from osteoporosis. It is also called the Sickleton disorder. In this disease, people suffer from low bone mass and low bone density, and it is because of the deficiency of vitamin D3 and calcium. So let's try to solve this question. And in women, it is found this osteoporosis is mostly found in the post menopause era because the estrogen level of women decreases in that particular time, and this they suffer from this disease. So with respect to this question, let's try to answer it. Osteoporosis is a condition characterized by excessive muscle growth, totally incorrect. Inflation of the joints, incorrect. Abnormal curvature of the spine, incorrect. Loss of bone density and increased risk of fractures, 100% correct. So with respect to this question, the correct statement is option B. So with this, we complete today's questions with respect to the current affairs. I hope you had understood them. I hope I was very much clear in making you understand these things. If there is any confusion left, please do write in the comments. We will try to clear that. Now with this, let's move to the another part of our discussion where we will solve the static question. Here today's static question is about Article 51AG of the Indian Constitution. As it is a fundamental duty, we know that it is fundamental duties are in fundamental duties are in part 4 of the 4A of the Indian Constitution. They were not earlier in the Constitution. They were brought through 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act, and it was the Sovereignty Committee which recommended this. And we got inspired from USSR. We brought fundamental duties from USSR. So as we are discussing right now fundamental duties clause by clause, today we had reached to clause G. Let's try to find out what it is about. First statement, to safeguard public property and to adjure violence. No, it is not about this. Third, to develop the scientific temper, humanism, and the spirit of inquiry and reform, even though it is a fundamental duty but not part of this. Fourth, to strive towards excellence in all spheres of individual and collective activity so that the nation constantly rises to higher levels of endure and achievement. No, it is not part of it does not come under clause G. Then what could be the correct answer? It is option B, which is to protect and improve the natural environment, including forests, lakes, rivers, wildlife, and to have compassion for living creatures. So this is the correct definition of Article 51A clause G. This is what it talks about: to protect and improve the natural environment, including forests, lakes, rivers, and wildlife. And that's why there is huge the discussion over the over the Great Nicobar project. How it can impact the ecosystem there, and also the China's year-long project which they are going to develop, hydroelectric project which they are developing on the Brahmaputra river, which is going to impact the ecology and environment in India. So this is all because of, this temper which we had got. It is because of the fundamental duties which we get from this clause, which is Article 51A, Clause G. So with this, I hope you had understood this also. Now with this, let's move to the last part of our discussion, where we will solve a previous year question and then we will conclude today's discussion. And the question which was asked in year 1999, this question was asked in year 1999, and you will see how the pattern has changed since then. As we will move from there towards 2024, we will see how the pattern has changed since then. Let's see what was the question asked then. Which one of the following scholars suggested the Earth's origin from gases and dust? Here we have to understand whose theory was this. Who suggested that Earth's origin from gases and dust? It was it James Jeans? No. Was it H. Elfwin? No. Was it F. Hoyle? No. Is it definitely O. Schmidt? This is option D is the correct option for this. It is this person who gave the theory of interstellar dust, hypothesis. Under this theory, he suggested that he gave interstellar dust hypothesis for the origin of the earth and the solar system. Under this, he suggested that earth's origin from gases and dust. It was this person who gave this theory, who gave this hypothesis. So with this, I hope you had understood this also. With this, we complete today's discussion. I hope you would like the video. I hope you would share it with your friends, and I definitely hope you would subscribe the channel. Thank you for staying with me. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.